Hey everybody, this is No Bones About Wrestling. I'm your host Asa, and I'm here of course with Kay Fabulous.
Hey.
And this is WWE Weekly. And we're going to get right into the swing of things with some match results. WWE Monday Night Raw, September 18th in Salt Lake City, Utah. We had a non-title match where the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes pinned NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio of the Judgment Day. Also, in the match of the night, Kofi Kingston pinned Ivar. Quite a match. You wouldn't have believed it going in, but they put on quite a match. Shinsuke Nakamura beat Ricochet by disqualification. In another non-title match, women's tag team champions Piper Niven and Chelsea Green battled Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark to a no contest. Bronson Reed pinned Chad Gable. NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch successfully defended her belt against Natalya. Tommaso Ciampa beat Giovanni Vinci by submission. And in the main event, Drew McIntyre pinned Jey Uso. And of course, after that, the Judgment Day attacked Jey. Drew McIntyre refused to help. Doesn't care for Jey Uso. He's been through it with them. WWE SmackDown, September 22nd, Phoenix, Arizona. United States Champion Rey Mysterio teamed with Santos Escobar. Of course, they're both in the Latino World Order, and they beat the Street Profits in a tag team match. In a good women's match, the WWE Women's Champion Io Sky successfully defended her title as she pinned Asuka. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller were in the match of the night as they beat the Brawling Brutes. And that was it. There were 3 matches on SmackDown. That was it. They were supposed to get Styles and Cena versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, but they pulled the old bait and switch, and they fucked AJ up, and they pulled a stretcher job. We're going to talk about that more. We got only 3 matches there.
So what was your match of the week then?
Match of the week, probably that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller versus the Brawling Brutes match. That was quite a tag team match.
How many bones are you going to give it?
I give that one 4.5 bones out of 5. It was a pretty darn good match. Darn good wrestling match.
I agree, it was very good.
Runner-up would be Kofi Kingston and Ivar, shockingly, would be the runner-up.
Ivar has some moves for such a big dude.
He is very agile,
yeah.
Very impressive, very impressive.
And like you wouldn't think that his style and Kofi's style would complement each other, but they did quite well.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good match.
So let's go ahead and get into that because it's storyline time.
All right, storylines.
So really, the match wasn't ever supposed to happen. Like, it was supposed to happen briefly. It was suggested, the AJ Styles and Cena versus...
Oh, you're talking about
Solo
that?
Sikoa. I'm talking about that.
Okay.
Solo and Jimmy Uso. But
well, no, it was... No, here's the thing. It was advertised. They advertised AJ Styles and John Cena versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. I saw it advertised. But then it was advertised during the day, Friday. Mm-hmm. But then they changed it to, I think it said John Cena appearing or something like that. They changed it.
Well, during the episode, at the beginning, they implied that was going to be the main event of that night.
Right.
And then Paul Heyman got involved and was like, no. And so then Adam Pearce was like, oh, I didn't mean tonight. I meant at Fastlane. So then they were going to do a contract signing as the main event, because what's a more thrilling main event than a frickin' contract signing?
Yeah.
But then they jumped...
if I were a Phoenixite, I would have been pretty pissed off.
I know, right?
What do you call someone from Phoenix? A Phoenixician?
Phoenixonian.
Phoenixonian? What do you call them? I don't know. If you're from Phoenix, leave a note in the comments. Let us know what you're called.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Solo and Jimmy attack AJ Styles backstage.
Right. They fucked him up.
John Cena had already signed the contract, though,
Mm-hmm.
and then left it in the ring to go save AJ Styles. Later on, Jimmy and Solo come to the ring. They all sign this contract that just has John Cena's signature, leaving a mystery partner open for Fastlane, because I'm betting AJ Styles will not be healed by then.
You think we're going to get a certain
Eyebrow?
A certain eyebrow?
I think we might get a certain eyebrow.
A certain people's eyebrow?
Certain people's eyebrow.
You think The Rock is going to be at Fastlane?
I know,
a minor pay-per-view?
You say it like it's so beneath him. Like, but if WWE is trying to, like, this is going to be their first pay-per-view since Endeavor bought them.
Right.
I think they want it to be a really strong showing. They already are going to have John Cena on it. Like, why not? I mean, this isn't our topic of the week, but something that we bantied about as a possible topic of the week was WWE's comparatively weak pay-per-view cards compared to AEW's pay-per-view cards. And I feel like when you look at the Wrestle Dream card, if you want to compete with that card, you better be putting the friggin' Rock and John Cena in a match together on your pay-per-view, you know? Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to talk about AEW much. This is our WWE Weekly podcast. I want to say one thing about it. One thing about AEW.
Yeah.
That Wrestle Dream card that they're putting together, it looks like they're putting together the greatest pay-per-view, like, since...
Pay-per-views?
Since... I don't know.
Yeah.
Since, like, the 80s. Since, like, the Jim Crockett NWA 1980s.
So, to my point, if you're WWE and you're trying to compete with that and you don't have the roster to let you compete with that, of course you're going to bring back legends, right? That's your only option.
Yeah.
So, John Cena is definitely one. But, I mean, can you imagine just the buzz? Like, they would talk about that on ESPN, like, on regular television, if John Cena and The Rock came back to have a match. Even if it was at Fastlane.
You think so?
Know? Oh, I definitely think so.
I don't know.
People love The Rock. People love talking about The Rock.
That.
They love being all up in The Rock's business. So, yes, I think on Pardon the Interruption, they would mention John Cena and The Rock have come back to WWE to have one last match together or whatever, you know? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Or, like, even just The Rock getting involved in a bloodline story is a big deal. Because that's his family, you know? So...
Well, we all thought most of us thought he would get involved eventually. Mm-hmm. And now he's finally gotten involved. He finally showed up in that shocking appearance back in at Denver on SmackDown a couple weeks back.
That was last week, wasn't it?
Last week. Feels like longer.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, though. He didn't show up this week, though. Wonder if he'll be there next week. Who knows? Tune in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're setting it up. It seems like it's going to be The Rock and Cena. Yeah, it'll be a great disappointment if that's not what they do.
I think the only thing they can do, not that this would live up to Cena and The Rock, but they could have AJ Styles come back and be like, "I'm healed. I'm going to be the partner," you know. And I think that would be like the least disappointing option. Yeah. If you're picking someone that's not The Rock.
Yeah, but now they've already planted the seed, you know?
But they didn't really plant the seed. The audience was chanting The Rock's name. They were chanting Rocky. So, I mean, I feel like that's the audience planting that seed.
No.
You think this was an intentionally planted seed?
I do, yes. Yes, I do.
Well, maybe that's what we're getting.
And they said there's a contract with only one name on it. Mm-hmm. So, pointing out that there's room for another doesn't necessarily have to be AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they planted the seed. Yes. Mm-hmm. So
that's one way to make the Bloodline a hot storyline again.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, because it has kind of fallen off. Roman Reigns has disappeared from television again. Mm-hmm. has 2 titles, and they've disappeared from television again. Paul Heyman has been calling him on his cell phone.
He doesn't ever seem to answer.
Right. Call Roman Reigns, and we never see him really.
Plus, what kind of phone app is he using where you don't have to say, like, hey Siri or Alexa or okay Google? It just goes straight to you saying call Roman Reigns and your phone calls him.
Yeah.
What kind of magic phone does he have?
I don't
magic
know.
bloodline phone. His fancy bloodline case.
That you can buy for $12.99, I'm sure.
Yeah. Alright, so other than the bloodline, what storylines we got going on?
Other than the bloodline, what do we have going on? Well, we have Bobby Lashley still trying to set up the Hurt Business again.
What's the holdup with that?
I don't know. They're dragging it out.
Yeah, like too much.
Too much, yeah.
Like, get a move on.
Yeah, he's taking them here, he's taking them there. They're eating nice food. They're wearing nice suits.
And like, what does he want from them? Like,
to win matches.
Yeah.
And that's what I was about to say. Is this week on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar beat the Street Profits. Rey Mysterio, Dawkins thought he had Mysterio dead to rights, and Rey Mysterio climbed down him, the little wrestling god. He climbed down him and he turned it into a pin and left Dawkins stunned in the middle of the ring with a loss.
Bobby Lashley did not handle that well.
No, he didn't. So what does he want from them? He wants them to win.
So is he like coaching them, or he's just like plying them with fancy foods and fancy clothing?
I think both.
Okay.
I think both. But we haven't seen the coaching.
Well, he did some. I can't remember what it was now. He did something during that match where he was like telling them what to do and they didn't do it. You remember that?
I don't remember.
There was like a moment where he was looking very displeased on the side, like mid-match. I don't know. It gave me the impression that he was wanting them to do stuff that the Street Profits, who were not originally heels, were like not willing to go there. Like, I don't think it was like cheating, but something just kind of like questionable.
I don't recall. Yeah. Sorry. No,
it's okay.
But where's it?
I like that there's a new faction brewing, but I feel like this new faction has been brewing for like a month and a half now.
Yeah, they need to get established.
Yeah.
And they need more members, I feel like,
Yeah,
more than just
dude with
3.
a tag team.
Yeah.
And is Lashley still wrestling? Is he just a manager now? Like, that's unclear also.
I figure he'll still wrestle, but yet it's weird. I mean,
he hasn't.
He was just wrestling for titles and stuff, And now he's in a managerial capacity.
Which, I mean, I like managers. I'm glad that there's a manager.
Yeah.
But it's just surprising because they were pushing him.
Yeah.
Pretty hard prior to that.
Well, who would you see if they're gonna? I feel like they need 2 more people in it. Make it a good faction. 4 guys and Bobby Lashley.
I see stylistically.
Or maybe 3 guys and a woman and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, stylistically, I could see Austin Theory being part of the Hurt Business.
Really? Well, the Hurt Business, though, seems to be a black thing.
Well, I didn't know if it was only for people of color.
I think so. So far, all the members have been black.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was by design or just coincidental.
I think it's by design.
Okay.
I think it's very much by design, yeah.
Then not Austin Theory.
So I don't think Austin Theory.
Well, they don't have a ton of black wrestlers.
No,
they
don't.
Just going to put them all in one faction?
No, they don't. Right, and that's the hurdle we run into. Is Bianca Belair going to turn heel and join? We don't.
There were some rumblings on the internet about, I mean, not from any reliable, just from people on the internet being like wanting her to turn heel.
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting, really, if she joined them.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. I could see it too.
Yeah, and this is not in our news section, but Bianca Belair came out this week saying there's nothing wrong. She's just hasn't been on TV because she's at home doing some self-care, is what she said. Just because she's been absent for the last week or so, or 2 weeks or so. But yeah, I think Bianca would be interesting.
And who else we got? Not Ricochet.
Not Ricochet.
No.
They got rid of Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Who else do they have?
Which we'll talk about later.
Cedric Alexander.
Is he still signed? Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. Who is his partner?
God damn, who was it? I cannot remember. When did Shelton Benjamin?
Was it?
Well, I can't remember now. I can't remember, honestly. Was it?
What about the guy? Who was the guy that was Nigerian and he got a Nigerian accent
Apollo Crews.
on television? Yeah.
Apollo Crews. Does he still work there?
Yeah. He wasn't listed as the recent firings anyway.
Okay.
That would be nice for them to do something with him that wasn't just embarrassing.
I agree. Well, he came back briefly.
Yeah, with like no wind in his sails. I feel like this could at least give him some wind.
I agree with that. Apollo Crews, if he's still with them, yeah. Is he?
He wasn't listed among the recently released,
right.
So that's all I know.
I don't remember him getting released. But he hasn't been on TV. No, he's very, very talented in the ring, yeah. Mm-hmm. Needs help on the mic, but, you know. And that's the weird thing, is that Bobby Lashley is not good on the mic.
Yeah, to be a manager.
But to be the leader of this faction.
Yeah. Especially replacing MVP, who is very good on the mic.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, why did he replace? There was no explanation, he just took it over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if I missed something. Sometimes I don't always pay attention, but there was no explanation, he just took it over?
I never got an explanation.
Okay.
I never saw one.
Okay.
I never saw it. So Apollo Crews would be interesting. Apollo Crews, Bianca Belair, and the Street Profits.
What about Cedric Alexander? Are you leaving him out in the cold?
So do 4 men, you think, and leave Bianca to be a face?
4 men and a woman.
4 men. That's a big faction.
You know how many people are in LWO? It's 4 men and a woman.
That's true.
I think in order to be a faction, you need that many, because otherwise you're like barely like over a trios, you know?
Okay. Apollo Crews, Bianca Belair turning heel, Apollo Crews turning heel, and the Street Profits.
So all the black people on their show are going to be heels? Except for Ricochet?
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's not a good look.
No. I don't know.
Oh, wait, that's not all the black people on their show. There's the girl from the Caden Carter.
Yeah.
In the tag division.
Carter and who was it?
Chance and...
Is it Chance and Carter?
Caden Carter and something Chance, right?
Something like
that. I don't know which one is which, though.
Neither do I.
Okay.
A tag team.
Yeah. Well, one of them is not white.
One of them is Carter, and one of them is Chance.
Yes. You have a chance of guessing which one?
Lord.
Yeah, I don't think they should do all the black people on the roster in a heel faction.
You really don't think it would be fine? I think it would be fine.
No. And here's why. So, representation matters, and having positive role models for all people is important.
Yeah.
And so when you take all the people that look like you and you make them all bad guys, who are you going to look up to as like a little kid?
That's
true.
That's you can't turn...
Yeah. I mean, they're getting...
Well, see, that's why... Take out Bianca.
Well,
leave her a face.
Boys?
Leave her a face. Huh?
What about little boys? Who are they going to look up to? Ricochet. They got Ricochet.
Yeah.
Well, if Jade Cargill makes a appearance soon, she could...
She's going to be a heel.
She could
be Hurt Business.
We said she needed a manager.
She could be Hurt Business.
Yeah.
So maybe they're probably not going to put her with them though, but they could. Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
Well,
as some sort of like if they put her kind of with Bobby Lashley, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like on his level as some sort of executive assistant. Something like that, you know?
Well, according to Dave Meltzer, WWE is working on high-priority main roster creative for Jade Cargill. So, I think put her with Bobby Lashley could be main roster, high priority.
Yeah. Because they're putting some time into the Street Profits. I mean, they've been getting TV time regularly.
So what else we got? So, storylines. Anything else we got that's of note? We got a Charlotte Bayley match coming up next week.
Right. We had Charlotte. Well, it was Io Sky and Asuka had a good match, and Charlotte was ringside, and she got into it with Damage Control. And so she and Bayley are having a match next week on SmackDown on the 29th. And that should be good. Haven't seen those two in a while.
Yeah.
And they can do it, you know.
Bayley hasn't had a singles match in a while.
I feel like that's correct, yeah. I feel like that's correct.
Nice to see her back.
Not on TV, at least.
Yeah.
Not on TV. So that'll be nice to see. Let's talk about... Well, we're kind of jumping around. Let's stay on SmackDown. Let's not get too confused, okay?
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were doing it by show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, let's stay on SmackDown. Because we're jumping around. We talked about that. Okay. Rey Mysterio, I think next week, is defending his U.S. title against Santos Escobar.
Yeah. Which I thought they already did that. Did they not already do this?
I don't think so.
Maybe they just have been... Did they book it a while out? This match has been coming for a while.
It feels like it.
And it's so long that I thought it already happened.
No, it has not happened. Okay. No. So, Escobar said, it's his dream, to fight Rey Mysterio with a belt on the line, and I can see that. It would, if I were a wrestler, it would be one of my dreams. Yeah, Rey Mysterio's would be one of my wrestling idols for sure. I mean, he's amazing. He's still amazing. But yeah, so what do we see? I don't know. What do we see coming out of this? Is Santos?
No. I think they're just going to have a match. They're going to hug it out afterwards, no matter who wins. And the LWO is going to continue being a happy little faction that they will hopefully eventually do something interesting with.
Really? Nothing's going to come of it? Nothing?
It's too soon. It's too soon after the LWO formed. If anything, the LWO needs to feud with the Judgment Day, as we have said many times, and I will continue to say till I am dead. But no, they don't need... They're too new and they're too small to fracture. Because it's either going to kill it or it's going to split them in half, but there's only 5 of them. So then you have, 3 against 2? Mm-hmm. And one of them's a woman?
Yeah.
That doesn't make an interesting faction war, Yeah. I think you or someone who I talk about wrestling to people all the time, so I don't know who I talked to, but someone said that they thought that they might be doing the, NWO split into Wolfpack with them or whatever.
Yeah. There's not enough people.
There's not enough people. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
If that's where they're going, they're pulling the trigger on it too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon.
LWO isn't established enough. They haven't had enough angles.
Have they had any angles?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why you built this faction to fight the Judgment Day, and then you separated the Judgment Day and the LWO.
Yeah. We know they exist, and they've sold some T-shirts.
Yeah.
And I need to buy a T-shirt in my size. But that's about it, really. Mm-hmm. They haven't done a whole lot.
Well, I mean, they got
in terms of leaving their mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio has won the United States title. Yeah, that's noteworthy. But that's about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't see Escobar turning? You think that, nothing come?
I don't think so. I think it would be unwise. I think it's better to do the, this match made them even stronger as a unit kind of angle because they have such great mutual respect for each other, blah, blah, blah. I think that's a better direction to head it in.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they need to feud with the Judgment Day, and then Damian Priest needs to finally leave the Judgment Day and join the LWO.
They're on different shows, though.
Ugh, blah. No, Judgment, no. So,
Judgment Day's on Raw.
yeah,
Except the
but
tag
Finn
champs can go.
and Damien can go wherever.
Right.
And where Damien and Finn go, Rhea and Dominic follow. So, I mean, come on. The Judgment Day is WWE. They can go wherever they want. They have my permission. Yeah. So, wait, can we talk about the one... sorry, do you have more storylines, things to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, let me see how long we've been talking. Okay.
I want to talk about the witches at some point.
Okay, well, let's talk about the witches now, because we can talk about them right now.
Yes. So the witches had the best promo of all promos ever promoted.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, yeah. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire had a bit where they were talking about how, everyone keeps saying that the women's tag team championships are cursed, because people keep getting injured or ill while they have them. And they keep, so they keep getting vacated, or so they have to find a new partner. Like it just happened with Chelsea Green, where she had to find a new partner, and Piper Niven just stepped up and grabbed the belt and said, "It's mine. I'm your partner now." Who was Chelsea Green's partner?
Sonya Deville.
Right, correct. Thank you, Sonya Deville. But so people have been saying that they're cursed. A lot of people have been saying that. And
including us,
yeah. Yes, they seem cursed.
Yeah,
they do. They truly do. And so now the witches are on there. They've got this scene set up, and they're like, who would have done that?
Yeah,
who could have cursed these belts? And this was just such a great thing to put on television. I think
it was perfect. It was perfect, and I love that they took this internet rumor, and just ran with it and made it part of a storyline. I think what a great move, Yeah.
Made it part of canon.
Yeah.
That the witches have cursed the women's tag team title belts just because they can't have them.
Well, not only that, but they lost their belts in the unification process because they were the NXT Women's Tag Champions.
Right. So is that when they cursed them, you think?
I believe that's what they're implying. Yeah.
When they lost the NXT tag team titles. Or when they were unified,
Something has gone wrong with literally every team that has had them since then.
Yeah.
Whether it be injury or partner turning on partner.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's been 3 injuries and then 1 betrayal.
Something like that, yes. They've all ended... badly, poorly. All the reigns have ended in odd ways. So it's pretty funny. I loved it. Anytime wrestling turns into and I know some people think it's goofy. It's it's a matter of taste. Whether you like that kind of thing or not. For me, anytime wrestling turns into like a horror movie, I love it.
And it's just in time for spooky season.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So I loved it. And I was wondering where the witches have been. You know, they've been off television for months now.
Well, now they've been honing their witchcraft.
Yeah.
Getting their curse nice and stable,
So that was cool. I really enjoyed that segment on SmackDown. Yeah. I say segment. It was like 20 seconds.
But like the best 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. On Raw. One thing I want to talk about on Raw, Drew McIntyre pinned main event Jey Uso in the main event of Raw. And after that, the Judgment Day attacked Jey Uso, and Drew McIntyre refused to help. So what do you make of that? Is it Drew just... being like, fuck Jey Uso, he fucked me with the bloodline back then. It clashed at the castle, and I still have bad feelings toward him. Is it that, or is it part of this, McIntyre heel turn that people are saying is going to happen?
I can't tell if they're trying to make McIntyre like a tweener, you know?
Yeah.
Which I hate that term. We gotta come up with something better than that. It's so terrible. But anyway, I can't tell if that's what's going on or if they are gonna push him full heel. I feel like what was holding him back from becoming a full heel already was that he was partnered with Matt Riddle, but that's no longer the case. Right. So I don't know. I think character and story-wise, I think it's just he got so screwed over by the bloodline, you know, that he's just bitter about it. Mm-hmm. But I think that there is a probable heel turn in his future.
So you think both?
I think both.
Okay.
But I think that we're supposed to think it's because of Jay's involvement in the bloodline and screwing him over.
So do you think we're going to end up seeing like heel Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins?
Ooh, maybe that would be good.
Yeah, that would be cool. I've not seen that before.
I was gonna say, have we seen them before?
I've not seen
it at all. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I've not seen it before.
Yeah, me either.
So I don't know if they've fought before, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool. I would be for Drew. Yeah. I would be for Drew. I think.
God, I would be for Drew.
But yeah, it would be a very interesting matchup for sure. All right, let's see what else have we got on Raw that I want to talk about. Nothing really. One thing I do want to talk about is how they jobbed out my boy Chad Gable. You know, he's been on this streak of gaining fans, gaining popularity. People love him. You know, getting behind him like he's an Olympic hero or some shit. You know,
yeah.
Which he did go to the Olympics. You know, didn't he? Right? Yeah, he went to the Olympics. Yeah. But he ends up getting pinned and getting squashed. Not like a squash match. Like, literally, he got squashed. Bronson Reed came off the top rope and squashed him and pinned him. And, yeah, Bronson Reed got the big win over Chad Gable. So, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's pretty crappy.
Yeah,
I was really excited about the trajectory they had put him on, and now it's like he just ran into a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like they keep doing this with people in Bronson Reed, but then they're not doing anything with Bronson Reed.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They keep
building people up for Bronson Reed to smush them.
Yeah.
But then
in the mid card,
but then they're not doing anything once they get smushed.
Yeah, he's like the strongest guy in the mid card, but he can't go for a mid card belt because they don't want to do Bronson Reed versus Gunther.
Yeah,
even though that would be a sight to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Do it. Let's fucking do why don't they do some interesting shit? You know.
What a great question.
Let's see Bronson Reed versus Gunther. I would love to see that match.
Yeah.
It gets frustrating. The way WWE books, I can't be the only one thinking this, you know? And I don't like to complain. I like to keep things positive here on the show. The way WWE books sometimes really gets frustrating.
Because you see the same matches all the time, and then there's matches you've never seen that you'll never get to see.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because
of like in glass ceilings. Mm-hmm. And invisible walls, for some reason Bronson Reed is beating all these mid card guys, but isn't worth fighting the Intercontinental Champion Gunther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's his mid card prize? Nothing. Just staying in the mid card, being the king of the mid card. I guess
he's not the king because the king has the belt.
Right. So he's the secondary king. He's the prince of the mid card. I mean, is that...
It's a pretty crappy title.
Yeah, it is a pretty crappy title. I agree. But is that what he is? The prince of the mid card? Bronson Reed? Yeah.
I don't know, because then sometimes he disappears for a while, too. Like, he's not consistently on television.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
No, there's been like a week or two here and there where he's missing.
I would say he's consistently on television, yeah.
I don't think we'd seen him in several weeks.
Oh, well, no. Now that I think about it, you're right.
Yeah, because he wasn't
He has been, yeah, he's been gone a little bit, yeah. You're right. But the Prince of the Mid-Card, yeah, it's frustrating. I like Bronson Reed. I'm not, I want to see Bronson Reed and Gunther. I don't know who I would want to win. I don't know who I would cheer for Bronson Reed, I feel like. If I were the booker, I don't know who I would book to win. That's tough. I would be cheering for Bronson Reed, though, I'll tell you that. It'd be such an interesting match. See this boulder of a man face this, like, wall of a man, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would love to see it.
This is the problem when you have to have storylines to have good matches, you know? You don't get to have these. Like, people... I'm going to talk about AEW for 2 seconds again. I apologize. But people complain all the time that there's no, like, storylines. There's just good matches in AEW. Well, in WWE, there's storylines, but there's not good matches. You know? Like, I mean, there's good matches. But, like, there's these matches that, like, you want to have happen, but because they can't make it happen in the storyline, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. Because they're restricting themselves.
They're protecting wrestlers. Like, they're protecting Gunther. They don't want Bronson Reed to make Gunther look weak.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, so you're just never going to have your monsters fight each other?
I guess not. All right, let's move on from the storylines and talk about some real world stuff, some news, WWE news. Hot off the wire here for you. This week we had some sad news for a lot of people. Of course, the merger became final between WWE and UFC. You know, Endeavor had purchased WWE and merged the two together to form TKO, as it's called now, on the stock market. So they let a lot of people. They let over 100, office workers go. White collar jobs go. They let over 100 go. And then they started with the wrestlers this week. So they fired Matt Riddle, former world champion Dolph Ziggler, Riddick Moss, Mustafa Ali, Dana Brooke, Massey of the Maximum Male Models, Mansoor, Shelton Benjamin, Rick Boogs. I think that may be a complete list. I may have missed someone. If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, a lot of wrestlers let go. So
that's not a complete list of all the wrestlers.
It's probably
they let go of like 20 wrestlers.
Okay, that's not a complete list.
No, that's
okay.
it. Those are just the ones that I thought were the most well known.
Okay.
From the main roster.
Oh right. Oh no.
Yeah, because there were a bunch of people.
That's not a
Top
complete
Dollar,
list.
I think got let go too.
Top Dollar, yeah. That's not a complete list. Yeah, that's true. Those are just some of the bigger names, right? Yeah, so sad day. That stinks.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. When you have two massive companies merge who are making record, I don't know about UFC, but I can tell you about WWE, is making record profits. And they merge with another company. And then they fire people. It's disgusting. It makes me... That's the kind of shit that makes me not want to watch WWE. Mm-hmm. Not want to support them.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
and
I watch it for the wrestlers that are there
Mm-hmm.
to support them. I watch it for
Yeah.
them. But I mean, it's just that kind of corporate bullshit. You know, just like where you're trimming the fat is the way they see it. Just all these people cutting their jobs while you're making record profits.
Yeah.
You know, and now Matt Riddle's case, that's something different. But the rest of them, it's just, and I'm talking about the over 100, office workers too. I'm sure there were some redundancies, where you didn't need two people doing the same job. I get that, but I'm sure some people could have stayed. I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of times now what they do is they give somebody the job of somebody else, so now somebody's doing the work of two people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way it fucking works in America. I'll tell you that. And that is the way it works in America, where people have to do more and more work for the same amount of money. And yeah, it's sick. That kind of lust for money to make just the most profit. We're making record profits, but we can go a little higher. We can get a little higher if we just fire these 20 people. That just lust for the dollar.
And
it's really sick.
What's so shocking is some of them had matches scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
Like future matches, like at No Mercy, the NXT pay-per-view that's happening at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. PLE.
I'm sorry, PLE. Mustafa Ali had a match scheduled against Dominic Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And they fired him. Not Dominic Mysterio, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
And like Shelton Benjamin just won this past week a match on Main Event. So it's not like they're people who weren't active.
Right.
It's just
Dana Brooke's been active in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really odd.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I've said my piece now. I think people get the point. Just a sad day that reflects the way that our economy works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sick from the top to the bottom. It's sick. Okay.
In other news.
Speaking of being sick.
Oh, good transition.
I did not walk right into that transition. LA Knight, unfortunately, has COVID-19. So that is why he was not on SmackDown this week. So best wishes to him. Hopefully he gets well soon. Doesn't lead to anything, anything serious for him. Hope not. Big announcement. WWE Elimination Chamber is going to be in Perth, Australia, February 24th, 2024. So 2/24/2024 in Perth, Australia. So the time difference, I think, would put it at something like 6 a.m. here, something like that. If they start at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., I don't know.
What? Really?
I think so. I think that.
So what are they going to do?
We were talking about it the other day. That's what I heard. I could be wrong. That's what I heard.
So what's the plan?
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. What is the Australia time difference? Can you see? And one interesting thing. This isn't really funny, but it's I don't know. Emma, who is Australian, she was with WWE. they made this announcement about Elimination Chamber, and she makes this post about how excited she is that, they're going to do an event in her home country of Australia, and then about 40 minutes later,
they released her.
And she has a post that says, "Well, I'm not with WWE anymore." So
that sucks.
Yeah.
The time difference is 14 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time.
14 hours ahead of Eastern? Okay.
Yes.
So, right, if they're at 8 p.m., yeah, exactly.
Maybe 8 a.m.
6 a.m. No, 6 a.m.
Did I say, I said 12, I said 14.
14.
I'm sorry, I thought I was saying 12.
So,
okay.
yeah, they were right. So, if they start at 8 p.m., it's going to be 6 a.m. here. So, get your pajamas and your cereal bowls ready for a 6 a.m. pay-per-view. Will you get up?
No, if it's 14 hours, if it's 8 a.m. there, it would be 10 here.
No, wait, say it again.
It's a 14-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So, am I doing my math backwards? I think I might be doing my math backwards.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I'm doing my math backwards. Never mind, you're right.
14 hours, yeah. It goes this way.
Yeah, that way. Yeah. Okay. Huh.
So, right. So, it'll be 6 a.m. here, and it's 8 p.m. there. So, would you get up for a 6 a.m. pay-per-view?
Hell no.
You don't want to get up and put on pajamas and eat some cereal and watch a pay-per-view? It sounds fun.
At 6 a.m., that does not sound fun.
It sounds fun.
You're crazy.
Go to bed early and then get up at
I already go to bed.
Go to bed early and then get up at 5:30, put on PJs, get a flight, cereal flight. Get several cereals ready. Oh, get some Fruity Pebbles.
Oh my God, you with the cereals. Okay, we're not going to talk about cereals. We're moving on.
Get some Crunch Berries.
Was there ever a wrestling cereal?
That's a good question. I think there was, but I'm not 100% sure. I never had it. If there was, I never had it.
I have a hard time believing there was one then.
Well, no, it might have been in the 80s, before I was eating sugar cereals, in the mid 80s when I was
when you were a baby.
A baby, yeah. It might have been a Hulk Hogan cereal or a WWF cereal.
Seems like a market they would have tapped into. You know?
I agree. As I was saying, though, you get some
Oh
Fruity Pebbles. No,
we're moving on from your cereal.
You get some Crunch Berries.
No, we're not doing a cereal flight discussion right now.
Okay.
So just be prepared to wake up really early, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
We could do a watch-along where we're all in our pajamas.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It's 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Feel real grumpy.
Huh?
Everyone will be really grumpy.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. I guess we
have till February to prepare.
We'll either get up really early or watch it later. I don't know.
It's the internet's fault that we have this problem. If the internet didn't exist, we could watch it much later and have no idea what the results are,
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what we do.
Yeah. All
right. Moving on. WWE streaming rights are set to expire on Hulu. All right, Kay, so what does that mean for the WWE and Hulu?
So, as of right now, the contract that they have for next day rights to WWE Raw, as well as other WWE content, is set to expire. Meaning if you go on Hulu to WWE content, it says leaving soon. And so far, there's not been any extension or agreement to further that on. There had been talks where people thought that September 2024 was going to be the expiration date of their deal, but those apparently were incorrect.
Okay, so we don't know the date?
We don't have a date, no.
But very soon?
It's soon enough where they're saying that the content is leaving soon on their actual app, like it says it on there.
Leaving soon. Okay, so whatever soon means to them.
And it's interesting because they were supposed to have a show debuting at some point with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair featuring them. So it's unclear if that's still happening or not.
Like following them around or what?
That's the impression I got, but I can't answer that for sure.
Okay, thank you. All right, and in a huge deal, WWE signed a deal to bring SmackDown back to the USA Network. They did not get the giant deal that a lot of people were thinking and what WWE was hoping for, maybe from another network, maybe from NBC or something like that. And Fox didn't want to up, even though SmackDown's been very good for Fox. They just didn't want to up the price WWE wanted. But USA paid what WWE was satisfied with. So SmackDown heading back to USA. So all of the WWE programming will be on the USA Network. I remember back in the day, USA Network, it always was, after Raw was Silk Stalkings. Silk Stalkings, yeah, that's what it was called. It was a detective show, but it was very, sexy.
Sexy detective show?
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that.
Very good looking people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the murders had something to do with sex.
Was the detective a woman? Is that why it was called Silk Stockings?
I don't recall. I think there might have been a man and a woman. I didn't watch it as a kid. I didn't watch that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. You just remember it starting when
it started after Raw, yeah. Because it was Raw went, I can't remember it. I cannot remember if it went 8 to 10 or 9 to 11. I feel like it went 9 to 11.
Your mom let you stay up that late as a kid?
Or was it? God, was it 1 hour? I can't remember if it was 1 hour or 2 hours back in the day. Now, can't even remember. Sometimes, like in the summer, I would get to watch it.
Did you record it on your VCR?
I did. I have some WWF tapes somewhere. I know where one is, so that's fun.
I bet there's awesome commercials on there.
Yeah, we should watch it.
Yeah.
I know where one is, but yes, I would tape Raw and then watch it when I came home from school the next day. So Tuesday afternoon, I would watch Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I would get to see the first 15 minutes of it. I remember that. And then I had to go to bed. And then I would tape the rest. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how could you even sleep with being so excited for what's happening on Raw?
It was tough.
Yeah, I bet.
It was tough.
All right, what else we got for news?
How we get to... USA. That's how we got to... Silk Stalkings. And Duckman. Back in the day. Duckman. Just talking about old USA Network shows. He was a private eye.
Oh my God.
And he was a duck. And it was animated.
What?
And Jason Alexander, from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
George Costanza did the voice of Duckman, I believe.
All right, moving on.
Funny show.
Moving on.
Hulk Hogan is married again. He has married his third wife. Her name is odd. It is Sky Daily. So, I don't know what that's about.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Hulk. Hopefully they're happy. Hopefully he gets over his racist ways and has seen the light and can change his heart. Hopefully he already has, as he has said. So, all right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on that sex tape that was a big deal of Hulk Hogan and his friend's wife. Hulk Hogan used some words that he should not have to describe people, and it became obvious that he was a racist. And yeah, so fuck Hulk Hogan, and a bad friend for fucking his. I don't know if he was if his friend knew he was fucking his wife. I don't know if they were swingers or what the deal was. Okay. I don't know what the deal was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but it was revealed on that tape. Yeah, I believe that he was a racist, and it might have been. I think there might have been some other thing that happened too. But yeah. So fuck him. Okay, next. And that sucks, you know, because I loved Hulk Hogan when I was a kid. Yeah. You know, I loved him. That sucks.
Wasn't there, like, a saying or something about how you should, like, never meet your heroes?
Right. Well, I try to keep, you know, it's harder with wrestling. You know, I try to keep artists apart from I try to keep artists' art apart from them as a person. I try to keep the art they produce apart from them. And you could say wrestling is art. You could say that.
I definitely say wrestling is art.
Wrestling is art. I mean, they're you know, portraying characters. They're on a stage. It definitely is artistic.
So you can like the character, but not the actor.
Yeah, like I still love the character of Hulk Hogan, but Terry Bollea, the actor, seems like not so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
what else you got?
But yeah, as I said, hopefully. To end this segment on a positive note, you know, I believe people can change. I know people can change, and hopefully he has changed his ways, has changed his heart, and hopefully he has. It's tougher. The older you get, the tougher it is to change. I know that, but hopefully he's changed. Up next, Randy Orton has been seen at the WWE Performance Center.
So he's recovering from injury.
Recovering from surgery.
Yeah, it's his surgery. He had spinal fusion surgery, I believe. So hopefully this means that he's testing the waters and is planning on making an in-ring appearance again at some point.
Right, because I was listening to a podcast and somebody pointed out, they were like, oh, he could just be lifting weights. And it's like, he could lift weights at home.
Yeah.
You know? He went to the Performance Center, WWE Performance Center, for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's good news on return. Hopefully he's returning.
Yeah.
He's missed, definitely. Randy Orton brings a certain, you're not a big fan?
No.
No?
He was a heel when I started watching, and like he was very good at being a heel, and he made me actively not like him, and I haven't quite gotten over that yet. I stopped watching WWE when he got into the whole like RK Bro thing that endeared him to many people. After his heel phase, I missed all of that, so he has not been endeared to me yet.
RK Bro with Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
It was silly. So Orton on the comeback trail. His spinal fusion it feels like it was about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's a surgery I had myself actually, and it takes 1 year to heal. On average, everyone's different, of course, but on average, they say it takes 1 year to heal. But people are different. I'm not going around and slamming my body around, and I can't believe he's going to be doing that.
Well, if you remember, about 2 months ago, we reported that Randy Orton's father, Bob Orton, said that Randy's doctors advised him to no longer wrestle.
Right.
Which it looks like he may not be taking that advice.
Yeah. So I don't know. Whatever he does, I hope he does it safely, and because I don't know. When I had that surgery, they told me I could lead a normal life and do what I want, and I didn't ask them anything about wrestling. People. I just told them I wanted to be able to play basketball. And they said I should be able to. So. So I don't know. So several people have had the fusion and a wrestling. Who was that?
Trent Beretta.
Trent Beretta, yeah, had neck
fusion,
neck,
yeah.
spinal fusion in his neck.
Edge has had it, hasn't he?
Who?
Edge,
I believe, did have it, yeah, and in his back, in his neck also, correct?
His neck also,
yeah, his neck. So yeah, just Randy Orton's, I believe, actually was his back though, wasn't it?
I believe it was his back,
and not his neck, yeah.
Because Braun Strowman just had his neck done.
Yeah. Strowman had his neck, correct.
Rick Rude just had, not Rick Rude, what's the other Rude? What's his name?
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode. He had his neck done twice.
Yeah. I think
That's why he's gone for so long.
Well, I heard he's been working as a road agent for them.
Oh, cool.
For WWE. So hopefully he'll move and kind of be like booking, not booking, well, kind of like booking matches, setting up matches and stuff, maybe for some of the opening matches, that kind of thing. Kind of, hopefully he finds a place in WWE where he can let his expertise be used,
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm not going out there to wrestle with my spinal fusion. They told me, remember this? They told me, unless you get hit by a truck, it's pretty fine. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told me. Because I asked them about roller coasters, too, and spinal fusion. I said, is that a good idea? And they said, unless you get hit by a truck, you're going to be pretty fine. So.
Well, because your bone grows or like attaches to the hardware.
Right.
I mean, it becomes a unit.
It's crazy. I hope it worked.
Yeah, for Randy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean for me too.
Oh.
Seems to have worked for me. I hope it worked for Randy. Seems to have, if he's going to the performance center, and I hope he doesn't jeopardize his health. That's all. I just really do. All right. We mentioned earlier, WWE is working on high priority main roster creative for Jade Cargill. That is according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer. So they're going to bring her in. It's not clear if she's coming to be a face or be a heel. I don't know. What do you think? Heel?
Heel.
You think so? Yeah.
I think heel, and I think put her on Raw.
Put her on Raw?
Yeah, they need women.
Yeah. Okay.
They need, high-level women.
You could see that.
She could take on Rhea Ripley,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Plausibly.
Believably.
Yeah.
Believably. Right. Yeah, okay. I can be with that. I wonder what this main role, this creative is that they're working on for her,
Yeah.
Or is she going to have some crazy character they're going to make her do?
No, I don't think so. Like what?
Who knows? It's Vince McMahon, He's still got a hand in things, You never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
We'll see. So we wish the best of luck to Jade Cargill and her debut, whenever it's going to be. Could be any day now. It seems like, I mean, the way that the news is being presented on the internet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, does Tony Khan not put the 90-day...
He must not.
No compete clause in his contracts? Yeah, he must not. All right. WWE has terminated their partnership with Panini, the card company, for breach of contract. Fanatics is expected to receive the trading card rights. So I'm not sure how they breached their contract with Panini.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Panini allegedly breached their contract with WWE.
Yeah, the article didn't specify. It said that it's not known at this time.
Yeah.
But they're currently suing each other.
Oh.
So Panini is suing WWE for breaking the contract. WWE is suing them for breaching the contract in the first place.
Okay. Let's see.
And it said that Fanatics is expected to get the trading card rights any day now. But Panini is still selling WWE merchandise, which they're not supposed to.
I see. I got the AEW, one set of AEW cards. I'd like to get the other set too. But
if you guys could see the sad puppy dog eyes he just made at me when he said that.
I haven't gotten any WWE cards. I haven't gotten into that. I try to be careful with my collecting.
It's
Things I collect. Slope. It's a slippery slope. I like cards though. I really enjoy collecting cards since I was a kid. I've enjoyed collecting cards. Started with comic book cards, DC cosmic cards. They have all the superheroes, and they would have specific issue cards, storyline cards. And they would show how the heroes evolved throughout the years. The cosmic cards that DC put out were a really fucking awesome set, and I collected every single one of those. Not the holograms, just the regular cards. I have all the holograms now, but as a kid, I didn't get all the holograms. But yeah, I really enjoy collecting cards. Those. I had serial killer cards. I sold those because they ended up being worth a bit. I had those for a little while. Yeah, you should see the look she's giving me now. But you love serial killers, though.
Oh, I thought you meant they were cereal cards.
No, I said serial killer cards.
I thought it was some like cartoon cereal thing. I didn't.
No.
For the way anytime you say cereal, I will never think serial killer. I will always think of the food because of how cereal focused you are. No, that's awesome. You had serial killer cards?
They were very cool. They had drawings, not photos, but drawings of the serial killer on the front, and then on the back, talked about the fucked up shit that they did.
God, America's so messed up that that's like a thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And highly questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway,
I had them and I sold them. But yeah, I like collecting cards. That's my point. Let's get back on track.
Back to wrestling here.
People like to hear me, I think.
Okay. Well, then I'll add the only cards.
They like to hear you too. That's why they tune in.
The only cards I've ever collected, I have the complete set of Back to the Future cards.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, I used to have because some of them form a picture, like a giant picture. I used to have it framed over my DeLorean Lego set, and then I had my Funko Doc Brown next to it. I had a little Back to the Future corner with my cards.
Where are those?
They're in a baggie.
They're not in a card binder. They should be.
No, I didn't know a card binder existed till I met you.
Yeah, put them in a card binder. Yeah, show those puppies off.
But then they're just sitting in a binder. They used to be in a cool frame.
No, then you can flip through them, look at them, and they're protected. Yeah.
Okay.
Do it. Get a binder.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah. We probably got a binder here somewhere.
Anyway, back to wrestling.
Yeah, talk about cards. Oh, it's fun collecting cards, folks. Give it a try. So yeah, Panini and WWE didn't work out.
What kind of name is that for a card company?
A Panini.
You knew exactly what it was. As soon as I told you I read that they were breaking up with Panini, you were like, oh, the card company.
Yeah, they're
like
a big
the
card
delicious
company.
Sandwich company.
They're a big card company.
Odd name. What else you got? News? Anything else?
Big WWE tryouts this week for Richard Holiday and Brogan Finley.
There was a big list of names at one point of people, like a big try. I remember there was like, there's like 8 or 10 people that they were trying out, which is what I don't understand about these layoffs. Like, why are you laying people off and auditioning new talent at the same time? Like, if you don't have the money to pay who you currently have, what are you
Just
doing?
people that they think that are quote unquote used up.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, but that's what I think. Mm. But the Matt Riddle firing was a different thing. You know, he has some issues.
That he's hopefully working on.
Apparently, yeah. Hopefully he's working on. Because he had some trouble with drugs and or alcohol, and he went to rehab. And then he came back, and then he had this, encounter with the cop at the airport.
At JFK.
At JFK Airport, and alleged that the cop sexually harassed him, and then retracted his statement, and then there's still an internal investigation. I'm not sure what came of it.
Well, not only that, but the reason the cop was there in the first place was that there was reports of an disorderly person, and it turned out to be Matt Riddle.
Yeah, he was probably on something. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest, he's probably on something and making a scene. So hopefully he gets his life straight, because he's a talented guy. Very talented, no question. And I don't want to see him become a wrestling tragedy. There's been way too many of those, I don't want to see it. So hopefully Matt Riddle can get his sobriety, under control, and
if that's what this is.
If that's what is going on, yeah. Which is what it seems like.
Yeah.
But hopefully he can get his stuff under control, yeah. That's why he was let go, yeah. All that stuff. I don't think he was on the chopping block, like these other people were,
Well, his release was announced at a separate time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The biggest one, just going back to these releases, Mustafa Ali, I say the biggest one. Probably Dolph Ziggler was the biggest one.
Well, hands down the
biggest one. We'll talk about him in a second. But Mustafa Ali, I see Tony Khan scooping him up. I mean, Tony Khan can't sign every single wrestler that gets fired from WWE. But if he doesn't sign Mustafa Ali, he's crazy.
I know you said we're going to talk about him in a minute. If he doesn't sign Dolph Ziggler, he's crazy. Hire that man. Let him teach a clinic on selling, and his company will improve drastically.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, if there's one thing that I would, and I love WWE, I love AEW, and there are things I dislike about both of them also. If I could pick one thing I don't like about AEW, it would be that the selling is not good enough. That wrestlers don't sell things enough to make it believable that they're hurt. Keep me in the match. Make me feel like you're hurt. That's part of the whole thing. It's a big part of the whole thing. Some of the best wrestlers are some of the best sellers. It's not a coincidence. Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Kurt Hennig, people like that, are good sellers. And they're some of the best as well. Randy Savage. You gotta sell. So Kay is right. Yeah, and Dolph Ziggler, great seller. Bring him in. Let him teach some of these youngins how to how to sell, because that's kind of an issue in AEW, that there's just not enough selling, and the degree of selling needs to be turned up a notch too in AEW. They don't sell enough, and they don't sell the extremity of things enough. The duration and the degree of selling both need to be turned up, and that's something that Dolph Ziggler could help them with. I mean, he's very gifted, former world champion, and very gifted. He could definitely help them. But those two, snatch them up. Ziggler and Ali, definitely get them. And I would say Dana Brooke too. Dana Brooke too. Yeah. Some of the others, who knows? But those three for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is that it for the news?
That is it for the news.
All right. Well, on to our topic of the week.
No, rankings.
I'm sorry. On to rankings. I'm just so excited about the topic of the week that I just tried to jump the gun. Sorry.
All right. So these are our top 5 rankings that we do every week. We do top 5 men, top 5 women, and top 5 teams. So what do you want to start with, Kay?
Let's start with women.
Okay. Top 5 women in WWE. Number 5, Charlotte Flair was not on the list last week. Number 4, had a good match with Io Sky but lost. Asuka, she slipped a place. She was 3rd last week. She's number 4 this week. Number 3, NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch. She was not on the list last week. Number 2, falling from number 1. She's been number 1 the whole time we've been making this list, I think. The whole time we've been making these lists. Rhea Ripley, the WWE Women's World Champion, number 2. And so that means that number 1 is Io Sky, the WWE Women's Champion, moving up a spot from number 2 to number 1 with that big win over Asuka this week. You had to put her at number 1.
Well, also, Rhea didn't have a match this week.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So.
All right, let's do teams.
Sure.
All right. Top 5 tag teams this week. And the tag team list, WWE has been doing weird things with their tag teams. Like who gets TV time, who teams up together. So things are changing quite a bit. So number 2 through 5 on our list, they were not on the list last week. Believe it or not. So I'll just tell you that.
Wait, really? 2 through 5?
Number 2 through 5 were not on the list.
Wow. All right, let's hear it.
Yeah. Number 5. Some of them were on the list 2 weeks ago, but none of them were on the list last week. Number 5, one of the greatest tag teams in history, The New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Number 4, the Brawling Brutes. They were in that awesome tag match on SmackDown. They lost, though, to Theory and Waller. Number 3, United States Champion Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar.
Of the LWO.
Of the LWO, yes. They picked up that win over the Street Profits on SmackDown. Number 2, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Who they were calling them what? They were calling them A-Town Down Under.
I love it.
On
I didn't
SmackDown.
know that.
Yeah, on SmackDown. One of the announcer was calling him that. And number one, they stay number one. They're the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Of the Judgment Day.
Of Judgment Day, yes.
Is it Judgment Day or the Judgment Day?
I think it's the Judgment Day.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I thought so. I was just making sure.
I think so. I think it's the Judgment Day. All right, number 5 on our list, falling far from number 2, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns.
That's
number
what
5.
Gets.
That's what he gets for being on vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, things soon is just gonna fall right off of there. If I have anything to say about it,
Yeah?
it's just gonna fall right off.
Think so?
Not to give any backstory to how our lists are made, but he was not on my list this week.
Well, if I keep putting him on my list, he'll almost certainly be in the top 5.
Only if you keep putting him at number 2.
If I keep putting him at number 2, yes.
Are you going to keep doing that, even though he's not going to wrestle until...
I don't know.
Until Crown Jewel?
I don't know. Number 5, Roman Reigns, yeah. A lot of dispute about where he should be ranked, if he should be ranked. Mm-hmm. Some people would say number 1 because he has, both the belts.
They're unified. It's one belt.
Yeah. Both the titles, then we'll say. Some people would say he shouldn't be ranked at all because he's not wrestling.
I say that.
Kay says that. She didn't rank him. That he's number 5 on our list. Number 4, making his debut on the list, Kofi Kingston, former WWE champion. Number 3, making his return to the list, Cody Rhodes. Got that win over NXT North American champion Dominic Mysterio to open up Monday Night Raw. Number 2 on the list, back on the list, was not on it last week. Drew McIntyre beat Jey Uso in the main event of Monday Night Raw. And number 1 on the list remains, he didn't have a match this week, but it remains WWE World Champion Seth Rollins.
And that's our top 5.
That's the top 5. Top 5.
So speaking of things in 5s, our topic of the week.
Yes, our topic of the week. Kay is very excited about it.
Pretty excited. I like talking about movies, and our topic of the week this week are what are the 5 best movies featuring wrestlers. You can either base it on the quality of the movie overall or the wrestler's performance. Which did you tend to lean towards? Or a mixture of both?
I went towards the quality of the movie overall.
Mm-hmm. I did too, and then I ranked it based on the wrestler's performance.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to rank it that way. You ranked them? I'm not going to rank mine.
I ranked mine based
yours?
Based on wrestlers' acting performance.
Lord, I don't know if I'm going to rank mine. I'm just going to do a list.
I'm sticking with my ranking.
Okay.
How do you want to do this?
Lord, you're excited.
I'm very excited.
You can start. So yeah, okay. We're doing movies featuring wrestlers. The top 5 movies featuring wrestlers.
Yeah. Not about wrestling necessarily, but
right, just featuring pro wrestlers.
So why don't I say one and then you say one?
Okay.
Okay, so at number 5 for me, I have The Princess Bride featuring Andre the Giant.
Good pick.
Thank you.
What was the name? Fezzik
the Giant, yeah.
That's it? You don't want to elaborate any?
I put him at number 5 because I feel like he was playing himself. So the acting wise, I feel like it wasn't really a stretch,
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first exposure to a wrestler as a child, I think. Into the world of wrestling was Andre the Giant. I knew him as Fezzik way before I knew him as a wrestler. I think I was probably in college or out of college by the time I found out that he was a wrestler. But just a beloved movie by many, especially of my generation. What about you? What's your first movie?
Okay, I ranked mine now.
Okay, based on what?
Based on the wrestler's performance in the movie.
Okay.
Number 5, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Hulk Hogan is in the movie. There's a scene where the Gremlins have infiltrated the movie theater in this huge building, and they're fucking up the movie, and then Hulk Hogan stands up out of his seat like he's watching the movie, and then he starts talking to the crowd. He breaks the fourth wall and starts talking to the audience of the movie, and it's like, I'm sorry, all these gremlins are fucking up your theater-going experience and blah, 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 and,
He doesn't say the F word.
No, he doesn't say that, but
okay.
no.
Okay.
That's the gist of what he says.
I gotcha.
He says, yeah. And he's yelling at the gremlins. He's like, hey, blah, 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 he's like, shut the fuck up, gremlins, or I'm gonna get you, That's pretty much, what he yells.
Pretty good.
But yeah, so just a pretty short cameo by Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2, number 5.
All right. At number 4, I have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starring as Maui in the animated feature by Disney, Moana. There is a side to The Rock that I had never seen before, the singing side, and he was fantastic and delightful, and I didn't believe that it was really him until I saw a video of him singing it. Excellent job. I love The Rock. I wish he was running for president. I would vote for him.
Wow. Okay. My number 4 is rockish. It's Rocky 3. Hulk Hogan plays Thunder Lips.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What? Wait, is that like his boxing name, or that's his actual name?
No, he's a wrestler.
Oh.
He's a wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not like Mr. Thunderlips. That's not like his last name. That's his stage name.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. That's all I got to say about it.
Okay. Why is there a wrestler in Rocky 3?
They do like a boxer versus wrestler match.
Like a brawl
just for fun. Yeah. Kind of like a brawl for all, if you want to look at it that way. It's a special attraction.
All right. That's cool. At number 3, you may argue that he's not a wrestler, but I would tell you to look at the world record holders. And we have David Arquette.
Former WCW world champion.
That's right. World champion, David Arquette. And he stars as Dewey, Officer Dewey, in the John Carpenter?
No.
No. What's it? Who is it? No, wait, don't tell me. No, you gotta tell me. I'm not gonna. Wes Craven, classic Scream.
Wow.
John Carpenter. I know.
Wow.
Don't judge me based on my John Carpenter error.
Wow. Wes Craven, yeah.
Okay,
Wes Craven.
No.
Defined horror in the 80s with Freddy.
And then in the 90s with Scream.
Yeah, defined it in the 90s with Scream.
One could argue that John Carpenter has also defined horror in multiple decades.
You could argue that, correct.
Yeah. So I got them mixed up. It's okay.
Okay. That's all you got to say about Scream?
So Scream is the 1996 horror classic that takes place in Woodsboro, California, where the teens are getting murdered. And it's like a mystery as to who's doing it. There's a ghost-faced masked man killing people with a creepy voice modulator. He doesn't always call people before he kills them, but he often does. And So what's your favorite scary movie line is from.
Yeah, the opening to Scream is maybe the best opening to any movie ever.
But you wouldn't call it one of the best horror movies?
No.
Wrong.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so...
It's a great movie.
David
Like I said,
Arquette,
don't get me wrong, it's a great movie.
David Arquette plays the lovable doofus deputy
Yeah.
who is bumblingly trying to solve this case and protect his sister, who is also a teen in the town, who's best friends with the main character, Sydney, played by Neve Campbell.
And his sister is played by Rose McGowan.
Yeah.
Hachi Machi.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that I realized that was her. Blonde Rose McGowan.
Hachi Machi, aye.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you got for number 3?
Number 3, I have Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Randy Macho Man Savage. The Macho Man. He played Bonesaw. Because Peter went to like try and test his skills or something like that at wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There was a prize. There's prize money.
He wanted the money?
He wanted the money, yeah.
Is this when he had the Spider-Man skills or before that?
No, he had the Spider-Man
okay.
skills, yeah. And he wanted the money. So he went and challenged a pro wrestler, and it turned out to be the Macho Man, yeah.
It's like creepy how well you do that. You're so terrible at like all accents ever, but your Macho Man is solid.
Cool.
Is that all you have to say about Spider-Man?
That's all I have to say about Spider-Man. It's a good movie. If you've not watched it, it's one of the better Spider-Man movies. You should watch it. It's very good.
Sam Raimi did that?
Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame, yes, did that.
Number 2 on my list is the only one on my list from the Marvel Universe. And that is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
It's a good pick.
Yes. It has Dave Bautista, has Drax, the Destroyer, who takes everything literally, much to my delight. He's like got this really awesome like blue skin with like this really intricate sort of red tattooed pattern all over him. Very good. He was great in this movie. And he was another one like Randy Orton, who when I started watching wrestling, he was a heel and he was so good at being a heel that I freaking hated him.
Yeah.
So when I saw he was in this movie, I was like, oh, Batista. And then after seeing the movie, I was like, oh my God, I love Batista. So this is one where the movie really turned me around on the wrestler.
Let's see.
What do you have at number 2?
Number 2, I have Santa's Sleigh, starring Bill Goldberg. This is a horror comedy where Goldberg stars as Santa, but in this universe, Santa doesn't bring presents; he brings murder.
Well, no, just now he does. He used to bring presents.
He used to bring presents
because he was trapped,
right,
into being a good guy,
right,
because he lost at a curling match.
He lost a curling match with an angel or something.
Yes, with an angel.
And, right. And so now he comes down, he murders people. This movie is awesome. If you've not seen Santa's Sleigh, and it's not bad, like, they made it to be, tongue-in-cheek. They made it to be funny, a horror comedy. And it is funny. You got to see this movie, Santa's Sleigh. If you like horror movies or comedies, you check it out. It's a good one. Goldberg is fantastic in it too. He's great.
He's so great that my number 1 pick is Bill Goldberg in Santa's Sleigh.
Wow,
that was my number one spot.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
He's fantastic in it, and it's like got all like such great lines for him. Oh, it's awesome.
I want to watch it now.
Yeah, he murders a bunch of people in a strip club in
Yep.
very amusing ways.
Yep.
It's very good. Yeah, I can't say enough positive. First of all, horror comedy is like my favorite genre, so I'm a little bit biased, but I cannot say enough positive things about Santa's sleigh.
Mm-hmm. You got Christmas time. You got cookies. You got
Curling.
a curling match with an angel. You got Goldberg. You got evil reindeer. You got Goldberg. He spears someone at some point. You got Goldberg murdering people.
Driving a sleigh.
Driving a sleigh. You've got
he murders someone with a menorah.
right. That's true. And at the beginning, there's a family he kills, and the family has several stars in it, like B level kind of stars.
Fran Drescher.
Who is in it? Fran Drescher. Who else is in it? I can't remember.
I only got Fran
Several
Drescher.
people who you wouldn't think would be in Santa's sleigh, or at this table, and they get killed. Anyway, Santa's sleigh. Yeah, check it out. That's your number one.
That's my number one.
My number one. They Live. With Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Don't make that face at me. I didn't put it on my list because, one, I knew you were putting it on your list. And two, it doesn't make my top 5.
Wow. So this was a John Carpenter film where Rowdy Roddy Piper, he becomes, he comes to know, because of some other people, comes to know that our entire society is trapped by aliens, and our entire culture is shaped by aliens. Everything we do, it's really good. It's really good, and he gets these magic sunglasses, and when he puts them on, he can tell who is human and who is alien because he sees the aliens. They're disguised as humans, you see. And every day, like if you just walked up to one, they would look like a human. Mm-hmm. But if you're wearing these magic sunglasses, they're not magic, it's a technological thing in the film. If you're wearing these technological sunglasses, you can see them for what they are, this ugly alien being.
They look like they're like people with like no skin on their face, kind of.
Right. It looks crazy. Like someone ripped skin off of a human. Yes.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's scary and it's gross.
It's a good movie though.
It's a fantastic film. It's a great statement about our society. I won't tell you all about it, and it's a good. It's like an action. It's like a horror action film too.
He plays a homeless person, doesn't he?
He does play a homeless person.
Yeah, it's a lot of good commentary on societal structure.
Yep. It really is. Can't say, like you said, can't say enough good about Santa's sleigh. I can't say enough good about They Live. And if you've ever heard that line, I came here to do 2 things: kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum. If you've ever heard that line, this is where it came from.
Is that a famous line?
Yeah, people steal that, yeah.
Oh,
People say that all the time. I came here to kick ass and do this and chew gum and whatever. Yeah, people say that all the time, and in my circle at least,
I guess we go around in different circles.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, apparently. All right, so those are our top 5 movies starring wrestlers.
Top 5 movies starring wrestlers. What a topic.
It was a good topic. It was fun.
It was a good topic. It was fun.
I'm very pleased with my list. I would watch all of those movies right now and be totally happy.
I hear you. I agree. Maybe we'll watch one tonight. Probably not. So, folks, thank you for listening to us. We appreciate it. This has been WWE Weekly. Listen to us again sometime. Why don't you?
When can they listen to us?
You can listen to us again next Tuesday. We're doing This Week in AEW. Every week we do it on Tuesday. Usually we do WWE Weekly on Saturday, and This Week in AEW on Tuesday.
Why was our show not on Saturday this week, Asa?
It wasn't on Saturday this week because we did a Halloween Havoc watch-along, with Halloween Havoc 1995 watch-along, which is, it's still on the YouTube channel. You can still watch it. There's a countdown of when to press play. Like, you know, find Halloween Havoc 95 on your Peacock account, and there's a countdown of when to press play, and then you press play, and it's like we're right there with you, live. So check it out. We had a lot of fun. We dressed in costumes. We watched Halloween Havoc 95. We had a lot of fun. Saw some good wrestling. We had some laughs. We saw some bad wrestling. We saw some goofy shit. We saw some goofy as fuck shit. It was a good time. But yeah, that's why we weren't on Saturday this week. But usually, yeah, WWE Weekly Saturday, This Week in AEW on Tuesday.
When is the next Halloween Havoc if they want to join us?
The next Halloween Havocs we're doing Halloween Havoc 2 more times, October 14th and October 21st, both at 4:30 p.m., both on Saturday at 4:30 p.m.
And it'll be a different Halloween Havoc every time.
Exactly, yeah. It'll be different Halloween Havocs. I've not revealed the years yet. Yeah, October 14th and 21st on the YouTube channel at 4:30. Come check us out. But yeah, so wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure to rate us. Give us 5 bones, 5 stars, whatever they'll let you give us. Rate us, please. And subscribe and check out our YouTube channel for the Halloween Havoc Watch Along and for other stuff. And subscribe there as well. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day. Bye.